that's the pectoral girdle. So then we have the upper limb, which is basically from your girdle downwards. So it's going to include your humerus, your ulna, the radius, carpal bones, metacarpal bones, and phalanges. Alright, so let's take a look at humerus first, because that's the closest, most proximal one to the body. So when I say the word proximal, basically means what's closest to your core. Yeah, so the most proximal bone of the upper limb, it articulates, articulate means connect, basically means connects to your humerus. The humerus articulates with the scapula, which we just talked about. You can see that right there. So there's tons of muscle attachments, like there's tons of muscle that attach to your humerus. It's a pretty big bone.
Yes.
Has epicondyles, which are processes for attaching muscles. That's how they attach, basically. And the epicondyles at the elbow joint, down here, is where you'd find the funny bone.
Okay.
All right. So now we have the radius. So the radius is the lateral bone of the forearm. So when we talk lateral or medial, we basically think of like the anatomical position, which is not like this, it's like this. Okay. So medial will be the one that's closest inward, and lateral will be the one that's furthest out.
Okay.
So radius is the lateral.
Okay.
It articulates with the humerus up top and the wrist. It runs the whole way up and down. It provides an attachment site for your biceps, which allows you to flex at the elbow. This bone helps to be your lever to move.
Okay.
And it also helps to stabilize your wrist. Okay, so it's the outside. Then we have the ulna. The inside. Did I say the outside? The inside. We move the ulna, which is the lower portion of the arm, inferior to the elbow joint. So it's the medial bone of the forearm. Okay. Oh yeah, that's correct. So the one that's closest into you. It's a little bit smaller. Okay, the humerus and the ulna interconnect via a humeral ulnar joint, and that's what gives your arm so much stability.
Okay.
And if you notice here, the distal portion, so distal meaning the furthest away, proximal will be closest, distal is furthest away. It actually doesn't connect to the bones in your wrist.
Okay.
This is all cartilage in here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, then we have the carpal bones. So have you heard of carpal tunnel syndrome? You know how people who type a lot or do a lot with their hands will get carpal tunnel syndrome. Well, your carpal is referring to your wrist.
Okay.
So your carpals are your wrist bones, and there's 8 of them. 4 proximal meaning closest to you, and then 4 distal.
Okay.
You can see those there. And they're just organized into 2 rows. So carpal wrist. You don't need to worry about those bones. But those, even though there's 8 bones there, they're part of the 126. We're just looking at the big ones. Then we have our metacarpal bones, which are like the smaller portion of a carpal bone,
Okay.
and the phalanges. So here's our metacarpal bones.
Okay.
So in your hands, you look at your hand, they run here. Okay, and they're called, you refer to them with Roman numerals. So rather than your carpal bones actually have names, but these ones just are 1 to 5.
Okay.
Okay, and then they articulate, which means connect, to the phalanges, which your thumb has 2, There's 14 of them. Your thumb has 2. That's why you can only bend at your joint here one way. And then all of your fingers, the rest of them have 3. That's why you can bend twice. So there's 14 in total phalanges. And there's your carpals. Again, see how they connect?